Have you been thinking of getting a new TV? Is the thought of the end of the world becoming enough of a reality that you are now spending any possible waking moment sitting inside, watching Netflix? Well, if the spike in views on my channel in the last couple of months is any indication, you definitely aren't alone. And I'd say the thought of purchasing a new TV might be a good one, as you'll be using it enough currently to justify the purchase. This is why I'm here to tell you about the TCL 6 Series TV currently, which might be the best TV you can get for under $600 right now. For $550 for the 55-inch version, the 6 Series TCL gives you a pretty decent spec sheet. You get 4K, 55 inches for this model. You get HDR10 and Dolby Vision coverage, 4 HDMI inputs, full array backlighting, a 60Hz panel, 1 USB port for charging devices or viewing pictures and videos, optical audio out, and 16-watt speakers, all wrapped up in an elegant and industrial metal bezel. Now, this TCL certainly isn't the flashiest TV I've ever seen, nor is it the thinnest, but I have to give them props for keeping everything pretty clean, with very little extra besides the panel and a solid aluminum trim piece at the bottom. The included feet also match the look very well, and they don't extend the profile of the TV out that far in either direction. So I'd assume that depending on the size that you buy, you can fit it on any entertainment stand if you're not wall mounting. That said, a 55-inch TV should fit on a 55-inch TV stand, 47 on a 47, etc. But TVs are not just centerpieces, at least for most people, I hope. So does the TCL 6 Series perform? Well, it kind of does. Picture-wise, I found the TCL to have pretty good contrast, both in dark and bright conditions, and pretty consistently across the entire display. There weren't really any spots where the picture was different in one place versus another. Backlight bleed was minimal, and overall the viewing angles I would say were adequate and just in the normal range that I expect from a TV these days. Pretty much any setup that you were going to use normally, unless you have someone sitting literally perpendicular to the panel, they're going to be able to see it just fine. HDR content played as expected, and there was a distinguishable difference between HDR and SDR. Now, the HDR wasn't the best implementation I've ever seen, as I daily a B8 OLED 65-inch from LG for my main television, but it was definitely there. And anytime at a TV at this price range where you can actually see improvements in HDR content versus SDR, I say that's a plus. While watching Rogue One, which is one of my standards for television testing, alleyways during dark scenes weren't muddied, and bright scenes and bright spots weren't washed out across the display. Especially in space battle scenes, when you have a lot of stars going off against a dark background, the full backlighting range didn't really leave a whole lot of halo. This meant that dark spots stayed dark, and bright spots were bright without too much extra glow emitting around them. Sometimes on TVs with worse backlighting or just edge lighting, these space battle scenes can really leave a lot of a weird haze come around the corners, and I really didn't get any of that here. On the arbitrary scale from 1 to OLED, I would put this smack dab in the middle for backlighting and HDR. It was pretty much a solid performer across the board. For gaming concerns, the TCL was pretty top-notch. On non-gaming modes, there was minimal input lag, while still noticeable, but nothing that I would say is game-breaking for most games. And then with game mode turned on, there was a small change in brightness and picture quality, but input lag was almost non-existent. This almost felt like a PC monitor as far as response time and input lag when gaming mode was turned on. So for all of you looking to rack out some of the newest titles, possibly on a new Xbox or PS5 in the next couple months, be rest assured you're getting a good TV for gaming. This TV is also great for older consoles or just DVDs in general, as the upscaling from 720p and 1080p content was pretty damn good for $600. It wasn't at Sony levels or LG levels. They're usually the top two when I consider upscaling content. But it was definitely noticeable, and it definitely made stuff look way sharper than it would native. As far as regular television, you're not going to see any blurry lines or aliasing. And then for 1080p content, it's going to look pretty stellar, to be fully honest. Regular Blu-rays will look great on this TV. Now, if you're using this TV alone and you aren't hooking anything up to it, I will let you know the Roku implementation was top-notch as well. The remote that comes with the TV is the, I'd say, mid-tier Roku remote. It's not really soft touch, it's still pretty cheap, but the buttons were fairly clicky. I have a TCL 5 series that I use for my bedroom TV. It was definitely way mushier. This one was extremely responsive, and moving through the menu system, there was barely any lag, and opening up, say, Netflix doesn't really take all that much more time than it does on my Xbox that I use for my main setup. I still recommend having a second box. It's just me. Like I said, I'm used to using an Xbox One X for all my media consumption, but if you're one person who just need it for a dorm, or you really just can't be bothered to have more than one device up on a stand, it does just fine. And I hate to mention it, but they are included. I do preface this saying, please, if you have the budget, or if you can just find someone, get external speakers when you're buying a TV in 2020. These new thin panels just aren't thick enough to get great speakers built in. That being said, the 16-watt speakers that come on the TCL 6 series were fairly impressive for what I was expecting. They get loud, and they don't really distort at high volumes, unless you're maybe above 85%. They had a fair amount of bass and a little bit of mid-range, so I wouldn't call them tinny by any means, but they're still not as good as a bass soundbar, and definitely not as good as a soundbar and subwoofer combo. I'm going to put some links down in the description along with the TV for some cheap combos that I recommend just in case you might want to spend the extra $100 or so. And it really will upgrade your viewing experience when it comes to movies and all that. But overall, the TCL 6 series is a damn good TV for the price. Sitting at $550 for the 55-inch, and I'm going to put the price of the 65-inch at the bottom here because I don't remember it off the top of my head. But it's a solid contender. I really can't think of anything else that would compete with it at this price point. Maybe the Hisense 6 series or the 8 series if you can get them on sale, but their Android TV kind of sucks. And as far as their backlighting goes, it's sort of slow. Whereas the TCL was enough that you didn't really notice it while you were viewing dark content. So if you're looking for a TV and the TCL 6 series is on your list, I think you're in a safe spot to snatch that one up, as I don't think you're going to get a better deal at the price point currently. And as far as this video goes, I hope you aren't disappointed either. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike and let me know why down in the comments. And let me know if you want me to review more TVs in the future. I really have to go searching for them because it's not something that I can usually get review units in as quick currently. TVs do come in large boxes for my apartment. But if there's enough interest, I'll give it my best shot. Shout out to my friend Jonathan for supplying this TV for review for me. This is his new television, so he hit me up, asked me if I wanted to film it, and I said, heck yeah. He also is the one who makes the hot beats for my channel. So if you've been wondering what the music is underneath any of my last couple of videos, that's his stuff. So I'm going to link his SoundCloud down in the description, and please go give him a follow and let him know how you like his stuff. I know he's been cranking out a lot lately. As far as the video goes, I know it's a short one. That's all I really got. Please subscribe to the channel. Most definitely hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw here, you like my other content. So I have a couple videos coming out this week and plenty more coming out for the month of July. We got some LG 4K monitors back there that I haven't reviewed yet, as well as the Type-C 4K monitor from Dell that just got released. So if any of that floats your boat, be sure to hit subscribe and check back later in the week when those are posted. If nothing else, I'm TK with TK Tech, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay healthy.